I have for you 5 projects, and these rose petal topiary balls are absolutely beautiful, and all these supplies you'll find at the Dollar Tree. Now I started out showing you a hard method, and I used a tin can just as a prop for these styrofoam balls. This is the hard way. If you fold these into 4s and glue them, it will take you several hours to accomplish this. They will still turn out absolutely lovely and full and beautiful, but I found you an easy way to do this. If you'll take and place a spot of glue on the styrofoam ball, aim for the center of the petal, and hold it with a wooden dowel, you can work very quickly and very swiftly placing these. And I usually start in the round of the perimeter. I just go around the styrofoam ball, placing the petals, and about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch, and like I said, aim for the center of your rose petal, and then hold it with the wooden dowel until the glue cools. And I had this ball covered in 1/4 of the time it took me to do the pink one. And they are absolutely lovely. You can place these anywhere and use them year-round in your home decor. Now project number 2 is my favorite, the Cupid's Heart, and I used boxwood from Walmart. Now take your needle nose pliers or wire cutters and clip away the center. Save it for another project, and then cut away your boxwood florals. Leave the stem long so that you can use the stem to tie them onto your heart. I always pre-stage to see where it needs more fullness and go about the shape. So you'll do this as a cascade. You'll start at the left and work all the way to the point and do the right the same way. And once you feel like it's full enough and you've got everything situated, you can move on to adorning it. And I took a 1/2 dozen of the blush roses that come from Dollar Tree, anchored them on with some floral wire, and with this Shabby Chic ribbon I got from Hobby Lobby, I made a shoe tie bow and tied it around it. Now Dollar Tree had these wooden tags, and I took scissors and cut it small to the shape that I wanted, and using my Crop-a-dail, I pierced a hole, because the crocodiles will go through metal, wood, cardboard, or anything thick. And I distressed my tag with the chocolate truffle Waverly chalk paint. With my black paint marker, wrote the word roses, and of course a little bit of G-twine to tie it on. Now to make the Cupid's Heart, Dollar Tree has this metal arrows, and I used a wooden dowel and my lavender paint marker, glued the feathered fan to the rear and the point to the front. And I actually took a bread tie and cut it in half and made it as though the arrow pierced the heart, so that it's going in one side and coming out the other. So one part of your arrow is on top and the other's underneath the roses. And voila, beautiful Cupid heart. Now project number 3 is our heart topiary on a reverse canvas method. So take your razor knife and cut it away on the outer perimeter. Once you do that, take you a pencil and lay the frame back onto the flat top and trace the inner perimeter. This will let you know exactly how far you can go in making your topiary. I used a heart as a template to make my shape, and then my coffee paint marker, which is the chocolate, I drew me a straight line and painted it with a little curve around it to look like a vine. I did go back with black paint marker just to distress that stem. Now using a foam core board, I cut me a clay pot, and I took burlap and glued over the top of it and trimmed that away. To make it a little bit darker, I took the coffee or chocolate brown paint marker and painted the burlap a little bit. Now at this point we're just staging, so taking a little piece of foam core board to make it look three-dimensional, I glued a lip on the top of that pot. That way it looked more like a clay pot. And I took some lace trim and glued it to the top edge. Now we don't want to glue this down just yet to our canvas. Right now we're just building our parts and pieces. So once you get that glued, take you a pan and some wax paper and your reindeer moss, pair of scissors, and kind of cut it into smaller shavings of green. This will make it real fine and it'll lay smoother and flat when you go to glue it in place. Now, since we have our shape, we can take our hot glue and start gluing the shavings into place and just build it until it's fluffy like you want. I made a regular shoe tie bow, glued it to the bottom of it, and trimmed away the canvas once I glued the frame to it. And voila, she is gorgeous. Now, project 4 is the mini triple heart topiary, and I used a styrofoam ball in a little clay pot and the reindeer moss. Now remove the dowel from one of the other two hearts, gently wiggling it, and then just slide it back onto one single one. Now you may have to trim this down like I did once you got all three strategically placed and balanced. I glued the styrofoam ball, a little piece of burlap over top of it. That way the reindeer moss will anchor in place. Place the topiary in the center, a little bit of glue, and a little bit of the reindeer moss. To make her match all of my other Shabby Chic decor, I took the same coordinating ribbon and glued it around the edge. Isn't she lovely? Now project number 5 is the frame hearts in bloom, and this is just a little bit of country in me for you. I took some shelf paper, trimmed the outer perimeter, and then placed it on the inside of my frame. And I'm just repurposing this Merry Christmas sign. Took a white paint marker, and I just put that around that edging to make it look a little more shabby chic. So we have to build this out. So I took my ball cannon jar ornaments and I painted one of the hearts white, wrote ball with the black paint marker, and the jute twine wrapped around the top. So this is not up high enough, and I had jumped the gun by going ahead and gluing the love into the frame and realized that the jar's not up high enough. So I built it up with a little bit of scrap burlap, and then that got it to set up more three-dimensional. Took a piece of jute twine and glued that down for the stem, and then glued my little ball cannon ornament in place along with the hearts. So I know you love all of these. Do try them all. Give this video a thumbs up and go about making your Shabby Chic farmhouse decor, trying out all 5 of these projects. I really appreciate you coming along. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, hit the subscribe word, select the bell, and be the first to be notified each time I put up a new video. And they are just beautiful. I know you're going to love them all. Let me know which one's your favorite and definitely which ones you plan to try. And here is the Cupid's heart on my pantry door. Until the next DIY, well, I'll be crafting y'all. Happy Valentine's Day.